Hello, hi, welcome to the show, GTV Breakfast. Before I jump into the conversation, I was listening to the news that was read by Maltiti, and she gave us a story in the International Bulletin about two pilots who were fighting in the cockpit while the plane was some tens of thousands of feet up in the air. Can you imagine? You are sitting down in your economy class, just praying for the plane to land safely, and then you find out that pilots are fighting. And it just got me thinking, when was the last time you fought with somebody in your office? Give me the details, all right? 055-556-1034. Pilots, please, don't be fighting out there, man. We need you to just bring the plane down safely for us. We can't be fighting inside the cockpit, you know? So, workplace conflict, I'm interested. When was the last time you and somebody fought, either verbally or, blows? And how was it resolved? 055-556-1034. Black Star jersey, away jersey, and already people are talking about this jersey, Charlie Ghana. We like to talk, but it's good. It keeps our mouth fresh, What do you think about the new jersey? Okay, it's going to come up on the screen pretty shortly. The new Black Stars jersey, the away jersey from Puma. You know how these sports kids people make a lot of money when we have international competition. So that's our jersey, right? Coming up pretty soon. It's I think it's red. Plain red with some What do you make of this jersey? Do you like it? Somebody say, hey, the Puma jersey is not good, it should be changed, the design should be changed, the color is also dull, it should be a little bright. Hey, people, this is John Sebwabe, who says he doesn't feel the jersey, but that's what it looks like. This is our away jersey. Yeah, look, that's the fine details. You can see our red, gold, green with our black star in the middle. Of course, we have the Black Stars. There's a ball there, and it's from Puma. What do you make of our jersey? Yes. So with that, I can bring my guests on the show. By the way, the WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. Fighting in the office, and then Ghana's new away jersey from Puma. My guests have never fought in the office here, at least. They are the best of friends. Both of them are lawyers. To my extreme left is Dr. Eric Odro Osai. He's a governance expert. He's the Director General of Internal Audit Agency. Doc, good morning.
Good morning.
And sitting next to him is Mr. Yao Anochi Frimpong. He's a lawyer and he's a historian. Lawyer, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
When was the last time you fought in the office?
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Always cracking jokes.
Always cracking jokes?
Yeah, that's what I do.
All right.
And learning from people.
Others. Okay, Doc, how about you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I think it's an offense to fight the office premise. It is. And depending on the conditions of service in the organization, you can even be sacked.
You can be sacked
summarily if you fight in there. So certain conflicts are normal in an organizational setting. For instance, in audit, we create what we call intentional conflicts between audit and finance. They are not supposed to get on too well. Or if they get on too well, and
there can be collusion.
There can be collusion. So in management, strategic management, you create intentional conflict between audit and finance. So they will be able to police each other.
As long as they don't come to blows.
No, it's not the issue of blows, but it's the issue of getting them to be very objective and be in their lane, making sure that they do the right things.
Have you come across people fighting in the office before?
Yes, I think I've seen one or two, and in our case, when it happens, we set up a disciplinary committee because it is against our conditions of service to do that. In all public institutions, you are not supposed to
fight.
No, you are not supposed to.
Lawyer, do lawyers fight?
No, we only argue. After that, we shake hands and then we go and sit somewhere and enjoy.
That's all.
That's all. We are always friends, and that's why we are called learned friends.
Learned friends.
We try our best to
keep things
all the time
on the verbal.
So clients should not allow their BP and emotions to go to a certain level when they see lawyers heckling each other in court.
And also
for
the clients, when they see lawyers exercising their métier, the friendship, they begin to suspect
that you've taken something.
One is giving it. You don't know that they can be classmates, tribesmates, churchmates, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, great. you know how we do. We have a tradition here. You come on the stage, and then we give you an opportunity to say what's on your mind. I'll start with you, Lawyer Frimpong. What do you want to speak about for the next, let's say, 5 minutes? I'll give you 5.
Okay. What I want to say is to comment on a statement made by Otumfuo Asantehene a few days ago. He said, beyond the payment of compensations and royalties for the acquisition of stool lands or family lands, the state should think of creating equity shares for the stools. And I very much agree with the Otumfuo. We have a situation whereby you pay compensation, let's say for the acquisition of the lands now forming part of this Ashanti Gophers, or if it is Takwa Anglo Gold or whatever you want to talk about. And you are telling me that after the chief has been paid that money some 50 or 100 years ago, no chief receives, the stool doesn't receive any compensation. And if it is royalties, a peanut at the end of the year, which the stool is sharing with the assembly. Mind you, the workers that the mining company brings to the area could be from, let's say, if it is Ashanti Gold in Obuasi, they may come from Volta, they may come from the north or western region. When it happens that way, there is always a friction between the local people and the workers, driving very beautiful cars, and then the local people very, very poor. So I think it should be looked into. And a classic example here is the oil and gas exploitation in the western region. Now, the people are always crying that their sons and daughters should be engaged by Ghana Gas Company and then Tullow and others. I believe it doesn't work that way. They know the sort of expertise they would engage.
As long as you're qualified, yes.
Yes, and then also Ghana is not a tribal country. It is a nation state. So you can't say, because you are mining this year or exploiting this year, we should automatically have some quota of employment. But what is important for the people beyond employment is equity. You understand? Because if Ghana Gas is raking in millions of dollars every month, as well as the oil companies, to develop other places, and then employers also coming from other places, it leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah. But if there was to be an equity share for that assembly and the stool, then it means that alternative arrangement will be made for them out of their own money.
What is equity share?
Equity share, that is a stake which comes by way of fairness to the people or any organization. For example, the founders of the organization, if it is a limited liability company, and if it is a stool, those people on whose land the organization is, the operations are being held.
So they get some percentage of the money?
Some percentage. It can be even 2%, 3%. Right. And I will conclude on this by giving an example of the recent International Tribunal of the Law of the Sea ruling between Ghana and Ivory Coast. It was held that the Jubilee field was part of still part of the territory of Ghana as a result of the fact that it is within the Jomoro district. And the question is, what is Jomoro or Elembele district getting out of that? So I believe Ghana has to look into it, because you cannot do such a program over there with all the risks and hazards from the emanations of fuel and gas, and the people will have to fall sick and the rest of the nation would benefit. We have to think about that. It is very important, because all articles relating to discovery of oils in the third world conclude on the fact that they also are prone to civil wars, and the best example is Nigeria. We don't have to wait for the wrong term to happen here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So equity, share, and the traditional people and the community is also getting part of whatever is coming out of the ground or in the sea, which is in their territory. Thanks so much. Dr. Sai, what's on your mind?
Thank you very much. To add to what my colleague said by way of giving back to society, I know there's a local digital content legislation, and there's also a corporate social responsibility law in this country that the regulators of the oil sector are expected to implement for the people in such areas to benefit. So maybe we may have to do more. But I want to talk about the latest Auditor General's report that has been issued. And I think that the Auditor General's department has done well, but they should get their PR to come out and explain the content of the Auditor General's report to the public. Because the Auditor General has done both financial and performance audit. But it seems to me that Ghanaians are overemphasizing on the financial audit. And in their financial audit, he does it for the various sectors. He does it for the MDAs, he does it for the MMDAs, and he does it for the pre-tertiary institutions. He also does it for the technical universities, and he also does it for the boards and state institutions. So you need to analyze them in categories. Then also the performance audit. There are two critical performance audits that this Auditor General has done that we should be interested in. The first one is on the National Ambulance Service fleet management, and the findings are interesting, and it goes to confirm some of the fears we've had, some of the things that have been reported in the newspapers. And I believe if we run with the recommendations in the performance audit report on the fleet management of the National Ambulance Service, it's something that is going to have a positive impact on our health delivery system. So I think that is one of the areas. The second performance audit report recently is released is on the use of the District Assembly's Common Fund, what we call the Responsive Factor Grant, in 30 district assemblies as far as project management is concerned. And in the report, he indicated that over 400 million cedis has been paid to contractors for no work done in these 30 areas.
Wow.
And these are things we should be interested in. So I commend the Auditor General, but I'm particularly happy that audit infractions in MDAs has reduced by some 47%.
Good news.
Between 2020 and 2021. For me, it's good news. And particularly on a consolidated basis, payroll irregularities has reduced. And it tells me that this ESPV thing we're doing, this ghost name thing we're doing, the month by month chasing of people to make sure that those who are not supposed to be paid by government are taken off the payroll is working.
Fantastic.
So we have to continue. And I commend the Auditor General. The area that I want him to up his game is to disallow and surcharge in court, so we'll be able to recover the monies that people have squandered.
So people should pay the money up.
People should pay the money back.
I'm so excited about this revelation. I'm very interested in the findings around the National Ambulance Service. That is a topic that is really close to my heart. So I will be scanning that report with an eagle eye. You're watching GTV Breakfast. Any comments that you want to send to us, send them to our WhatsApp 055-556-1034. We'll be stepping out of the studio to go speak with Alan shortly. Let me just read the headlines for you. So if you're a public sector worker, you should be excited because the 15% cola has arrived. It's not a drink, it's cold cash. Okay, it should be hitting your accounts anytime now. Planting for Food and Jobs needs review, says the former best farmer. Colonel Damwa relieved of post. He's a commissioner customs. We'll be having a conversation on that and an interview on that shortly. In Ghanaian Times, we have the vice president not too happy with doctors for their poor professional attitude and conduct. There are going to be over 2,500 dormant companies delisted for failing to file annual returns and financial statements. And in the find, SHS students will apply for loans ahead of university admission next academic year. That's a development on the educational front. And ABC News, MPA shuts down Atimpoku Shell filling station for selling petrol laced with water. Talking of water, let me drink some water. And we're going to go to Darrell Alantego momentarily. He has a report that he wants to make to us. It concerns a very deplorable road, and there's some work that is in progress. Daryl is on the ground, so I'll let him speak to us and tell us exactly what the situation is. Remember, we are having a chat with the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Appiah Ampho. And so that's something that you want to be keeping tabs on. And then Valerie will be having breakfast with the fashion guru, award-winning stylist Hector Obeng. That's coming up in a short while. But we're going to go to Daryl right now, and he has a report on what is being done to improve the condition of what used to be a very, in fact, it's still quite a deadly road, if you ask me. And he'll be on soon. 055-556-1034. I'm looking for your comments on workplace conflicts. You know, when was the last time you fought at work? You know, I've seen mates and passengers fighting. That's a workplace conflict. You know, you're fighting in the mates' office. It's crazy. It's not funny when you are the receiving end of some of those hot blows. You know, but I want to know how, apart from the story, how you solve it. Okay, and then your thoughts on the Black Stars jersey, and then your thoughts on what my guests have spoken about. You know, the equity that communities want to have as far as the resources that are flowing out of their communities, the issue of the public accounts. We need to be reading those documents, you know, and going through them with a fine-tooth comb, so we find out how the state is saving money through certain, you know, chasing after ghosts who refuse to die, you know, and they're still collecting salaries, you know. Now I think we can probably go to Alan shortly. And I have a feeling that what you will see on the screen will not be something that will excite you this morning. Alan, good morning. Welcome to the show. You appear to be at the canyon. Is this one of your apologies of a road?
Good morning, Kafui. This time around, it's not an apology of a road, Kafui. Good morning and welcome to the once famous Bola Junction in Sukura, a suburb of Accra in the Ablekuma Central Municipality. A month ago and a couple of days, Kafui, I reported from this very location how it had rained very heavily and had washed away the only bridge that connects Dansoman and then parts of Flamingo or Mataheko, as well as Latebiokoshi and parts of Mamprobi. This is a central point, and so when the bridge was washed away, it became impassable for commuters as well as pedestrians who used this to connect to the main Shukura market behind me. This morning, I am glad, Kafui, I would say residents are glad somehow, apart from the reports I had received, which is necessitated our coming here this morning. We had reports that after our report, work had stalled. The contractor isn't as active as he was at the first report, and so this morning, pursuant to a lot of calls I received from residents, we are here once again to follow up and to find out from the contractor what and why work had stalled. I see what seemed a different picture to the report I had, and so if you have the benefit of the videos I had sent earlier, you would find that the bridge which was washed away has been completed. It is awaiting commissioning and perhaps an asphaltic overlay, and then the road will be open to pedestrians as well as commuters who use this very end. Again, there's been a change in the scope of work, whereas in the past we knew it was going to be just about 20 meters away from the bridge, concreting into a culvert or a main drain. It has been extended to well over 70 meters from the very end of the bridge, which means somebody is listening. Keep an eye on getting results, because on that day I recall how we mentioned it would have been helpful if it had been extended all the way into the main drain to connect into the Kole Lagoon Ferra field. I have been joined also by quite a good number of residents who live along the drain, including a pastor whose church is just next to the drain. I must also say this, that my worry as I walked along the job is that I found residents on the other side using the drain as it's still being constructed as their dumping field for refuse. And so if this would go on, obviously by the time it is completed, you will find that when it rains, due to the amount of refuse sitting in the drain, we will have an overflow and residents will have their homes flooded. They have joined me, and so I'll speak to some of them and find out what they think and how they feel about this project as it's ongoing, as well as what measures they would take as residents to ensure that people don't put their refuse in here any longer. I'll first start with Reverend Oseku. Interesting, but I found this morning that he taught me in Sunday school just when I met him. Numo, good morning.
Morning.
Fantastic. Also for Bafe 1 month in report here and some residents raised a number of questions about the work. Also, how do you feel about this whole project?
Thank God. Very good, fantastic. Driller wawa because be anything basa she ni bridge nyumbo she ni ete ni MP ba momiaka fe e hani bi e kan she fine. Ewa wo she sani lofiano fe fine.
Ke okwe heni agblamilo akpami nke ya she ke ati hin afiu e kese na moko ba ba hanye
wa denche because kenyumbo ne a fraud or dem think more was obotu ke ya fe year she was kaji akpami kete ni anya cover no e ba nye wawo because fraud any e ba no any ya machine akelibi no efe ba nye stop. It's very very important akaba extend leko ke anye ke ashi the end of the bridge ni e ba wa ke ya lakan area.
Okay, ofa ne hanma ya here ni nke oblanyo na ife me akele this assembly he's a very active member in the district assembly activity. Numo good morning.
Good morning, Onupa.
Ofa na chawo gba hanu.
Fa achom Ahmed. Ka inquire lebne ninka bagbasani earlier na ke you're very active in the district assembly's work. Mina ke meke bola nwo gota miumu even than abagbe na mini nyefio ye Onupa, first of all, Madaboshin, I got an opportunity to in GTV. Noni yano, nibi ni yano ebiene wa. Ake wana wo papa alo wo bro nupa MP. Ake wa ni wo mane mi alo wo sukula mane mi because no more egba wona ebiene in the first place. Ni wana opportunity ne wa wo meba wana ko ne ken fio ni le agency na opportunity agency ne ken esani wo citizen wo momi no wo support le no ni o mi di won ta won pa onupa e fai ame eseni ni ne e agbe na ye bije ni o se e ha wo
osofo echi na kan tan wo no ni minta ni o no shiji me aboni ke bola wo gota mi ni nkpakpamba ni meke mfe bola umu osusu ake iba agbanya na kenyo mone
ofa wa ke before nke bu no kwa ke happy na kan da wala nti wa report wa hamon semi ake shikati na kaje mo ni mo ba ekewo batwa ni no ni o mi wo ba po nu pa ya fa ke ameha wo dasbi niji bola chins mamo 1 2 3 na ke main atlana ambahishka no ba hani wo sukula biene afi clean yawo because kem bola ma biene mokonye eteshia ni ekedwe abawo gota me even kem mo ka bawo gota me mokoye right ne mo ekele yu ake odase ake that's be biene ni ebanye Kenya
sukura ama binye nye neighborhood association ku ni eba domoshin bonafe ni ke no kutomo na kan ya no nye Kenya na machine ake akafi
okay onupa ha wo gbe ake wo dumohin ake wo fe na kan ni afi ni ne clear ha wo
no mo Kenya mo na ne wo bu Kenya onupa ba mi wo bia mo no yo gbana no ba nyo fe mi no ko na ne machine ofe
ndo twake nke na ne machine before ife ko before no ni te no nkebu no ke onupa like amang megbe ake o kenoko ni mo ake mo ke ba am support me mo ke because evidence we no fe no ba gbe clear before wale na kan but this time around we evidence ba gbe ya
lebine ni mba I can show you a video on my phone indomo bi na mi nkwe ni mami ko je shin akomemi ni ke ball ba omi I have a pictorial evidence kenke ha bo omi na no ba fa ye he
okay ha mi lo ke chomie madumo o picture ni ba chon ake o anukwale ni because ake na bo ewie kenke na bo ja wie ni ebe mi picture wa chon ake o munum wa fi anukwale ni e o madumo picture no ni kwa ife no ni mi to ma fi
ke okwemi no na fi o mi ni jiwa money ba wa nyema na mi
oh ya wo agbo wa big time because meba je ne keni no one we are happy.
Thank you.
We are happy.
Thank you very much. And so, yes, Kaf, he's just told me how happy they are as citizens around Shukura, given this drain. And interesting, but this morning, there seemed to be quite a good number of people gathering at the moment we appeared or we showed up on site. It tells you how beneficial they all see what this project will be to them. My knowledge about this neighborhood is that when it rains, no matter how high your walls are, you can expect a strange visitor. It may either be refuse or water. And count yourself lucky if there's power. Chances are there may also be fire. This has been Keep an Eye coming to you from Bola Junction at Shukura in the Greater Accra region in the Ablekuma Central Municipality. As always, Kaf, my name is Darrell Alan Tego. Thank you very much for coming to us.
Thank you very much, Alan. I hate the name of that place, Bola Junction. Man. Oh, Charlie, we have a wedding. Oh, where's the wedding happening? Bola Junction. Oh, we're doing outdoor. What's the place called? Bola Junction. No. Let's change the name. Let's change the name. Dentro Wasi had a name change. So Bola Junction can also be changed. Change Bola Junction's name now. Hashtag. All right. Yeah, but good work there. Good work. Bad name, but good work. My name is Kafui Day, and we are looking at a story of a gentleman who doesn't have a job again, and it was quite announced quite publicly yesterday. I'm talking about Colonel Damwa, front page of today's Daily Graphic, and he used to be the commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. He's been directed by the president to hand over his duties to an acting deputy commissioner of the authority, Seydou Idrisu Idisa. The directive took effect on Friday, August 26th, so he's already a couple of days outside of, 4 days out of a job. The order was contained in a letter from the presidency signed by the president's executive secretary, Nana Beditu Asante. It's apparently his contract of service as Commissioner, Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority expired on 13th October 2021. And so the President directed that effective Friday, 26th August, he hand over his duties and office to the Acting Deputy Commissioner, thanking him for his service to the state, wishing him well in his future endeavors. So this gentleman's name has come up because of he publicly attacked the special prosecutor concerning investigations into the operations of a food importing company, La Bianca, and there were suggestions of impropriety and irregularity at the port. OSP has retrieved 1 million Ghana cedis from this particular company, and whose owner is a member of the board of directors of the GPHA, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, as well as a member of the Council of State. And so the claim was that there were some reductions in her company's tax liabilities, and Kanadamwa is actually cooperating with the authorities in the investigations of some aspects of these operations of his division. He says he's operating, and he believes that his name will be cleared, but he's been relieved of his post because, according to the letter from the president's executive secretary, he's overstayed his welcome in the post. He's supposed to have left last year. Now, what does this all mean for all of us? Let's get on the line now and speak with Head of Programs, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, Mr. Bright. So, Bright, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Kafui, and good morning to all your listeners.
Fantastic. Now, give us what does this mean? What does the relieving of Colonel Damwa's post mean to the operation that is going on, as far as finding out exactly what happened with the money that was supposed to have been paid to the state as far as tax issues is concerned?
Well, first of all, just as you said, if you look at the letter itself, it mentions nothing about what we all seem to be alleging or what we all seem to be reading into. The letter itself is restricted to the issue of a contract that ended way back in October last year. He's now been asked, as it were, to depart from that particular position. But so that's the official word we have to go on. However, the timing is quite interesting because, of course, the gentleman contract apparently ended in October. We're almost a year after that period. So when he has to go home now, it forces us to read between the lines, really. And that's what brings into the full all the issues that you've raised in your earlier commentary. First of all, let me say that the customs and this issue of valuations has been something people have been talking about for quite a while. There have been several allegations about what goes on there. So we're not quite surprised when the SP decided that we're to do some probe into the sort of valuations that have been done and the clearance that have been done the last couple of, I think I tried to pick from 2016. But there was a group also that I'm sure you've seen that came up saying that he should extend the period to much earlier than that because, as I said, there's allegations about how those valuations are done for quite a long time. So we're all waiting to see what sort of report comes out after the investigation into that. But again, also, you come to the issue of Kelandamwa, just as you already stated, some of the statements that the gentleman said to have made, particularly about the OSP, was not something you would expect for somebody working in public service. I think we've got this thing where the traditional structures, well, of course, the respect tends to be a lot more based on age, needs to be differentiated from the formal structures where young people respect based on the positions they occupy and the offices they occupy. And sometimes people try to get, people sort of mingle those, or I'm not able to clearly separate that. So the comment that the man made was quite unfortunate. I'm sure the whole country really criticized it. So it's very interesting to see what the relationship itself comes. It's not just about Colonel Damwa and his involvement. It's about the place as an institution and what sort of valuations have been going on. Are these fair? Are these valuations that lose money, or as it were, leak money that the state should have come into the state? Because I think that's where we're having more focus on the nation, how much we get to retain from it. But of course, if there are individuals who are playing a part actively in that also, you want their names to pop up, you want the law to go to take them on. So it's a situation where we are waiting to see what comes up. But this will also be interesting, the release, because if you have a gentleman there that seems clearly opposed to the OSP, then it really makes quite a lot of sense to keep him at post while the investigations go on, because you have to see, of course, what's going to be his role and is he going to cooperate fully, despite the word being said that, he will cooperate fully. If you listen to the earlier statement, it doesn't make you put a lot of trust and confidence in that word, because his attitude, it seems, towards the SP is not a very positive, very receiving, very welcoming one. So the fact that he's been asked to leave, I think, only portend well for the investigation.
How do you assess the work of the Office of the Special Prosecutor to date?
I've been quite impressed with the way he has carried on this, I think, especially last year, this year, because I think the challenges that Mr. Medu had, he's had to face similar challenges. I don't think he's been able to yet bring in an entire complement of staff that we know that sort of the office needs, but he's been able to pick on quite a number of issues that he's tackling, as an institution, and so he needs to be given some credit for that. We are yet to see a lot of results come from them, but at least the beginning, the fact that we've been certain investigations, certain issues are coming up. Areas that, for example, this very one is an area that most people had alleged, that there have been corrupt practices going on, for a very long time. The fact that he's even going to that space, I think it needs to be commended. I think eventually we need to go to prioritize giving jobs a lot more resource, both human and logistics, to be able to effectively properly set up as an office that is ripe for investigation into issues that have to do with corruption, which is a big issue in this country. No one would deny that. But so far, I think we've been quite impressed. The statements we've been making, the efforts we've been making, the areas we've been going into, I think it's been quite impressive.
Finally, how do you think he will surmount the challenges that must come with this job, especially the political challenges?
Yeah, I think you nailed right there. The political challenges are quite big, isn't it? If you look at the two other people that have had such massive, anti-corruption, I'm talking about Mr. Daniel Yadunga, I'm talking about Mr. Martin Amidu, and how, as it were, and I'll put it this way, the political machination able to take them out. It makes the position of SP also as one that you look at and you're wondering, with all this investigation, people he has to face up with, how is that going to play out? But I think if we give him a lot of support, and that's what I think it comes just from the presidency or from the top, but it also needs to come from the base where we, the citizens, are the ones saying that, look, we like what the job the gentleman is doing, we like the direction he's going to, we like the issues that he's bringing up, so we are very much behind him. I think that support will also be something that would embody him and the office to take on, as I put it, the bigger fish when it comes to issues about corruption. I think the situation with Mr. Martin Amidu, with Mr. Daniel Domelevo, if with similar challenges should come where prosecutor Jabin is concerned, then to really raise certain serious issues with the political, particularly with the presidency, about how we really are supporting anti-corruption issues. So it's a case of a third case that we are really monitoring to see how things really pan out. But we wish him the very best, and he has the support, I believe, of the entire society in this country. As long as it continues to go to those very hard to reach areas, you have the support of civil society.
In one word, will he last in the job?
Sorry, say that again, please.
Will he last in the job?
I hope so. I'll surely hope so. I mean, it's really surprising if he doesn't, but I hope he does.
All right.
More prayer and support to last.
Okay, thank you. We'll leave it here. Thank you so much. Head of Programs, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, Mr. Bright Sowu, commenting on Colonel Damwa, who no longer is commissioner at the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Back to my guest here, Dr. Odro Assign and Yanoche Frimpong. I start with you, Mr. Frimpong. How is it that so many contracts can expire 10 months ago and the person is still working? I mean, if your contract expired October 2021, what does that say about the administrative structures in the organization?
It's not the organization, it's the government.
No, but your contract has expired. Go home.
Yes, the man didn't say I won't go home and did not say I will stay. The government was well aware that that man had a reference, a term of reference, that you are starting today and you are ending tomorrow.
What prevented him from taking his letter to go and show his boss? My contract has expired.
The appointment was a political appointment, and for as long as ostensibly the person was doing the work of his appointor, even if it passes for over 5 years, he will continue to be there.
It's not right.
And it is completely not right, as our brother was saying, the timing. So how come that after 10 months today, Colonel retired Damwa, go home? Go home because government now sees that you are not doing what I expect you to do. So I believe it's wrong, especially in the case of customs and other organizations where somebody retires somewhere and then that person is imposed at another place. Customs has not been treated fairly as opposed to the Ghana Army, the military, and then the police. You see, some time ago there was Colonel J.Y.A. Kofi, Commissioner of Police J.Y.A. Kofi, who was brought to Customs from the police administration. Then Colonel Ngwa. I believe that Customs is a very big organization, well oriented. They can start with somebody and that person can to the end. And now that the man has been sacked, you see that the one taking over, it's not from anywhere but from within, head of preventive. So I believe that they should be treated fairly. They should have their own men at the top. I'm saying this because when the LaBianca issue occurred, you saw the way openly, everybody in the world saw it. The said Colonel Damwa reacted. It was a very unparliamentary gesture.
But the one is not parliamentary.
He's a military man.
It lacked decorum.
Okay, so very unmilitary-like, right?
It lacked decorum. And you can see that in administration, you see that he wasn't a corporate person. All because he had been brought from the military, from a different background. altogether.
Where seniority is.
Yeah, then you talk any of that. This boy is a small boy. You will say that only in the army, nowhere else. So I believe government should think through this, and then as much as possible, when somebody retires, let that person go home and rest. But if you need his expertise, then he can be engaged as a consultant.
And then when his time ends, he should leave.
He should leave. It's happening at VRE,
Right.
where a deputy chief executive who has retired, has been engaged as a consultant advisor to the chief executive. And last week, it was in the Herald. It was like the workers do not seem to agree. I believe it is fair. When you go to the universities, they are supposed to engage consultants for research and for almost everything they do. And they engage their own retired lecturers, leading professors.
On contract.
Very good. What I don't like the situation at the university where somebody retires at age 60, be a consultant for about 2-3 years over there. And because that person knows that at the judiciary, the Supreme Court, you retire at 70, and then he comes there, to enjoy another 7 years. I believe it's unfair to those in the system already.
All right.
Very, very unfair. And then they call him Professor Justice so and so. No, you are an academic lawyer. Stay where you are. Be in your lane, and then let practicing lawyers enjoy that position.
Thank you very much, Lawyer Frimpong. Dr. Osai, so is it not a simple matter of putting information? Who pays their customs people? I want to know. How are their salaries paid?
Well, their salaries are paid by government, and they have their own salary structure.
Okay.
And let us put this thing in context, because people think that customs is an institution on its own. We have the Ghana Revenue Authority. That authority is responsible for domestic resource mobilization and external resource mobilization. When you look at the GRA as an authority, the structure, they have a governing board, and then beneath the governing board is a commissioner general who is in charge of the authority. Under the commissioner general, they have various divisions
Headed by commissioners.
headed by commissioners. So we have a commissioner for domestic tax revenue, the man in charge of internal revenue service, the taxes, the domestic taxes, or the income tax, withholding tax. He is one commissioner for domestic tax revenue. Then we have commissioner support services who provide administrative support to other commissioners. And then we have commissioner customs division.
Is this the chap?
And that is where
Colonel Damwa
Kanadawa
retired.
was.
Okay.
Customs division is in charge of the ports and external tax mobilization. And then we have other department that report directly to the Commissioner General. Now, the customs division is important because the bulk of our revenue comes from the customs division.
Yep.
The letter revoking the appointment of Colonel Damwa, my understanding is that this letter is drawing his attention to a contract that has expired.
Yes.
So just hand over. And I want to believe that by his experience, he was still at post, because there may have been some discussions going on that, look, stay on, we'll renew your contract for you.
Would you like to see them on paper?
Well, it is up to him, because if I were to be in his shoes, definitely I would demand for a paper. So maybe he has a paper. But the disturbing factor here is that when you look at the most recent Auditor General's report on MDAs, tax irregularities formed 91.5% of all the irregularities reported for MDAs.
Wow.
Tax irregularities alone. What it then means is that if we don't keep an eye on GRA, not only customs, GRA, because GRA, the two pillars of GRA, the customs division for external tax revenue and the domestic tax revenue, are areas that are carrying this country.
We need the money.
We need the money, and we need to keep people who will be able to get the money from us. So yes, I'm happy the government has taken a decision, and I do not have any evidential basis to link it to the LaBianca case.
It doesn't say so in the letter.
It doesn't say so in the letter. But what I want the government to do almost immediately, without delay, is to appoint somebody quickly.
They have had somebody.
No, the person is acting, and the person was coming from the preventive, and preventive is critical. They are the ones who prevent people from smuggling into the country. So preventive is now empty. So you need to get a preventive guy to do his preventive work well, and quickly get somebody to the customs division, because that is an area that we need. So I'll plead with the government to work within the shortest possible time to fill that vacancy, and then give that person KPIs,
key performance indicators. If the person is not performing, we leave the person, because these are two critical institutions. But Ghanaians must understand that customs is not an institution. It is GRA. That is the institution.
So what is customs? Like a division of
Customs is a division. Okay. And like I said, the Ghana Revenue Authority is the authority responsible for mobilizing internal and external revenue for Ghana. There are two big blocks. The commissioner responsible for domestic tax, that is the PAYE, the withholding tax internally. The commissioner for the customs division, the import duties, export duties, etc. So these two pillars are critical, and the commissioner general sits there. That is why when the LaBianca issue came out, the commissioner general came to explain the position of the authority. He indicated that the gentleman spoke for himself. The commission has a governing board, and he, the commissioner general, is the one who is vested with the authority to make pronouncement on behalf of the authority. So I think within the shortest possible time, government must appoint somebody to that particular position, and then also they should work towards reducing this 91.5% irregularities reported by the Auditor General. Had it not been GRA, like the MDA's Auditor General's report would have been one of the best in this country. Out of the total 1 billion irregularities reported in 2021 on MDAs across the public sector, 22 MDAs, 900 million is on tax irregularities, about 91.5%.
Meaning the money is being stolen?
Out of this, the Auditor General is telling us that over 400 million arises from 28 OMCs who defaulted oil marketing companies. They defaulted in paying their rescheduled debts, and these are taxes that GRA should have mobilized or collected. And the Auditor General is recommending that the Commissioner General should strengthen its monitoring and supervision of its staff. He should also take steps to improve efficiency in tax collections, follow up overdue taxes while applying the sanctions. These are the things we should be doing to bring money into the
1 billion Ghana cedis.
1 billion Ghana cedis irregularities in 2021 for across the public sector. 22 MDAs. Out of that, 900 million constitute tax irregularities alone, and that's about 9.5%. The Auditor General reported on 5 irregularity areas. Only one irregularity area, tax irregularity for the MDAs, is taking 91.5%. So GRA is an area we have to keep an eye on.
Wow. Keep an eye on GRA. This one, it'll be Alan, it matter. The whole nation has to keep an eye on GRA. And we are keeping an eye on your messages. Remember, views expressed here belong to those who express their views. GBC is not responsible for your views. All right? Okay, here they come. 055-556-1034. Okay. There is silence. This silence nature of the current government. Retired colonel might have heard something from the presidency as the NAPCO trainees had communicated saying they should remain at post pending permanent employment. Well, we don't know whether he had a letter or not, but what we do know that he is no longer at post. Good morning, CAF. Don't you think most of our institutions are more talkative than action-oriented? We want to be hearing success stories from them as well. Oscar Glagan. Okay. Alrighty. Good morning, GTV Breakfast Show. I like your show. Please, the Ghana jersey you have shown to us this morning is not good at all. Is it that same jersey they're going to use for the World Cup in Qatar? If it is, it's not good. Though we need the cup if they can bring the cup on with any other jersey. Please extend my greetings to the lawyer and tell him to explain the following statements for me to have a clear understanding. Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice rushed is justice buried. All right, okay. Listen, jerseys don't win games. Otherwise, Manchester United don't have won that ugly green jersey again. They wore the ugly green jersey once and lost 4-0. They wore it the second time, they won 1-0. Jerseys don't. It's players who win games. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning, GTV Breakfast. Can your panelists also share views on Ghana's share in resources that are exploited and the type of agreements we sign with these companies, percentages in oil, etc.? It's not a give out, says Kwabna in Kumasi. Alan says, good morning.
In the case of the Puma jerseys for the Black Stars, according to the claims of football history of Ghanaians, only the black and white jersey with the flag colors favors the team most. Sincerely, I don't like this new Puma for the Black Stars jersey. Read my lips, jerseys do not win games. Oh, it's the selection, it's the tactics, and a little bit of luck. No jersey. You can win a World Cup bare-chested if you are allowed. You know, jerseys don't win. They don't win games at all. More messages. The government and SNIT should also consider paying COLA, cost of living allowance, to pensioners, because cost of living is affecting them as well. Okay. Now, the fighting at work. Good morning, CAF. These pilots that were fighting in the air, I think they are out of their minds and should be fired for their jobs for risking people's lives. Ibrahim Abdul Nabi from East Legon. Aaron says the judiciary should not be touched by any governmental powers to impede activities of the Supreme Court. Thank you very much, Aaron. More messages coming in on 055-556-1034. Seriously, if this jersey is coming from Puma, then all their designers must be sacked for I can even do better. And has GFA accepted this? Well, there's a black star on it. It's not a demo. I took a car from Takoradi to Accra in 2014. This driver started quarreling with a mate from Kojo Krom, then stopped at Mori Junction, fought to his satisfaction. The mate won the fight, then we continued 20 minutes later. Nice experience. Wow. The mate won the fight and still was a mate? I would have asked you to just get down. You can't fight me and then continue as my mate. How? Keep it up. Joseph says from Upper West Region he likes our news. I'll send the news to Maltiti and our other crew members. More messages coming in 055-556-1034. CAF, the reveal of the new jersey has nothing to do with our wins. I think that is the new brand across the world because I saw Uruguay's jersey branded the same. Yo. Good morning, CAF and GTV. Thanks for pledging to follow up on the ambulance service brouhaha. This story cannot be allowed to disappear like many others in this country. Quentin from Kumasi. Thank you very much, Dr. Udro, saying that report, I really want to read it. Yes, I really want to read it. And so somebody is asking, can the president relieve Ofori-Atta, etc., like he's done? No, BB, North K. Which Ofori-Atta are you talking about? There's so many of them. All right. Which one do you want the president to relieve? Let us know. 055-556-1034. Mickey Darling to OSP. Kudos. He must make sure never again to continue with the barbaric practice of allocations and auctions of people's items and vehicles. It has to stop. There must be a system to enable any importer to clear their item and vehicles or be given the first option in case of auctioning. Michael Ashalaja. Good morning. The problem we have in Ghana is that citizens living within the mining communities don't get any profit from the mining companies. They are the people who are even poor, but they are mining from their own land. Ghana leaders don't think about us at all. Bright inside Ablekuma. Still looking for an Uber car or a personal driver car to drive. Please help, says Bright. If you want to employ Bright, he's available to help to drive. You have a valid driver's license? Bright, let us know. Good morning. This is a very good educative conversation on insurance that the government should give a thought to. Alaji Haruna says. So those are your messages coming in on 055-556-1034. I don't think Colonel Kojo Damwa, retired, has been treated fairly. How can a hard-working patriot be sacrificed for some selfish people in our party, says Nana Ikuamwa. What about the armchair Commissioner General? These are your views. Nana Ikuamwa Boating Ablekuma Central, aka Dr. Baumia, I need motivation. Okay, I wonder what that means. All right, so the guy says he has a license B, driver's license. He's looking for an Uber or a personal car to drive. If you have any offers, please let us know. Send it to GTV Breakfast and we'll sort him out. The judiciary should change their ways in order to save our democracies, from Alaji Haruna Shaiman. Okay, so please don't invite us to enter your WhatsApp group. We can't do that. Okay, all right, so you're watching GTV Breakfast. Keep your messages coming in 055-556-1034. I'm looking at workplace conflicts. There was a story of two pilots who were fighting while the plane was high up in the sky, and somebody shared me a story of a driver and a mate doing their own thing. They fought for 20 minutes and then got back into the vehicle and went off.
With the pilot case, people must understand that there's also an autopilot system. So at times, if you are, I think, above 12,000 feet, they are able to put it on autopilot autopilot.
And then-
They are clear that, I mean, everything is okay. They put it in autopilot.
And then fight.
No, they don't fight. You see them walking
Up and down. Okay.
just to stretch.
Yes.
You know, so maybe when they were fighting, the thing was on autopilot.
Hey, but Doc, can you imagine you throw a blow, the blow misses the person, and then hits the autopilot button,
Then
the thing goes off.
That's the end of everybody.
Ow.
You calm down. You know, so I always see planes as flying coffins.
We're wishing you, all of you who are traveling, safe journey. May your pilots and co-pilots be very friendly. Okay, no fighting. We're going to New Boatiano right now. Jay Gabra.
That's where I live.
That's where you. Oh, okay. Mr. Noche Frimpong is just happy for this report because it has a place in his heart. Jay Gabra, good morning. Welcome. How is it at New Boatiano? Yeah, so here, let's go. So Jay, here he comes.
Hello there and welcome to the sprawling suburb that is New Boatiano, where the residents here have invited us to come and take note of a situation which is adversely affecting them. The situation is the fact that the gutter was constructed a while back and unfortunately it wasn't well done. So what happens is whenever it rains, underneath all the gutters it has been strongly eroded, so passing on this route is no longer tenable. So drivers are forced to use a longer route than usual. I'm told this road leads towards Masalachi Polytown and a number of areas, but owing to the bad nature of the roads, they are not supposed to use this side. I've reported on a number of roads which are not in very good condition, but I think this one takes the cake. If you think it's the road behind me, no, that's not what I'm talking about. This is the road I'm referring to. You can see the state of the gutter, which is some of them which has been broken down and it's falling into the road. Some of the roads also completely eroded off, and then there's a makeshift bridge right in the middle, and so vehicles can no longer ply this side. And then for residents who stay in the area, they are worried whenever there's heavy rain, they are afraid of somebody falling into it as such. So you realize that if you're not familiar with this road, please, I advise you do not use this side because it is not safe at all. I understand there are situations where the water flow was so strong, vehicles that used to ply the road, the water carried those cars away and drove them into buildings which are in the area. I'll speak to a few of the residents here, especially the drivers who usually ply this place. Then they'll tell you exactly how it feels like to use a road such as this one. But your first name? Jataba. Hey, okay. Mukwan way there. We are sure to win a main road now.
Main road from New Boatiano Junction to Adansemai. Main road she say ye bre pa ye srai. Ono no kasa mpeni 40 ye ditu nanim. Ono ana oba odi yanim. Ama ye bibia wa ha. Ye srai ne pa ye mpese ye ba ye bibia oba kasa Boatiano fo yina ma. On hwe se na kwana ye. She say driver fo yin titifie. Medina mabo no Jataba ye tifie. Ye be di kwa boy go ye hu baby a. She say ye ba fa kwa ye adwuma ye srai no. Ye ditu nanim. So hu mpanifo no mbaboan ne ye kwan no. Yesa ono anim dama ensana kokometina ya de ne bae no sa kokometina ya basa ji na firi ho ti ya bo madin ya ne ya de ne bae to ntie he no ntie ne ye sra ya sam ne ya ka no ya dama se
How they want to find a car, be a car full. Into which I'll be sending on the car by Faha. Only almost about so several years into be over several years, 7 and 7. Besides, Yan yes, 7 and on there several years. So saw your 70 and the only from number of 7 years. On the land cruise to air condition in office. Now, say, or the road minister, but now, but share a boss of my 1 month or Baba, Benham, you 1 month in a chum, bed 3 months ago. No, Baha. Up to now, Yantin and Kayan Jeffrey. It's just or no, or the Adrian Edia Grow. And I say, ye officer, ye Numiansa, and I chapter like Adrian Yoduma.
I say, so in short,
can't in short, I can't come back. Over parking, but when the passengers, I am stranded. Our junction, who just dancing on airplane because we'll be until find a car in French Banco. Passing to me stranded be 1 hour, 30 minutes, no junction because a craning and the car be until or won't because I am as a woman behind in zone, thinking soon, thinking so to and come back and come in a planet here. Into a stranded pa, a strong and penning upon for him road minister Chelsea. Or one case or no about a minute, I'm a quarter and Casababa, send a quantity. So who's a quantity the only of a Sobabu and Sumo because Yenny of you vote to Mount Cocotina. This home says how you vote to Mount Bimdia and some down, no some
So the residents here making a promise to authorities if they do not come and fix their road, then they may demonstrate or vote them out of power. You've heard their views from here in New Adanseman in New Boatiano.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful report there. I love the visuals, and we need to work on our stuff there to make it even a more beautiful place. You love this place?
Yeah, very well.
New Batiano. Okay, a couple of quick questions, quick comments before our next conversation, which is with the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, celebrating 75 years of University of Ghana. So there's 2,500 companies risk being delisted. So the ORC is on a mission. This is the Office of the Registrar of Companies is about to delist 2,500 dormant companies for failing to file annual returns and financial statements. What does that mean, Dr. Odrosai?
What it means is that if you are a registered company under the Companies Act of Ghana, you are required to annually file your returns. Filing returns means that you are a company worthy of being kept on the company's register. You are a company that is doing legitimate business. You are operating within the company's constitution for which you are registered, and it gives the Office of the Registrar of Companies the opportunity to make sure that all companies or other businesses registered under the laws of Ghana are doing genuine business. You know, investor confidence in an economy is important, and even with the way dollar is going, if you are not very careful and you have all kinds of miscreants operating companies in your country, that on its own affects investment. So what it means is that file your returns, give an assurance that your control systems are working, your financials are okay, and all the systems are working by way of governance. So what Mrs. Owari wants to do is make sure that they comply with the Companies Act. If you fail to comply with the Companies Act, she will just make sure that your name is deleted. And I think it is long overdue. She's giving them a grace period. She's giving them time, moratorium. She said all kinds of things. There are people who have registered over 20 companies. They don't even have a fixed place for companies, for the company to do their business. They are called Potomanto companies. So if you want the company certificate, is in the Potomanto. So the person has like 20 companies, and you don't even have a fixed place of doing business. Such people, you cannot allow them to continue to do business because they have the potential of swindling investors, and it doesn't create investor confidence in the business.
It's like a roaming taxi.
That's right. So I think it's a good call, and we thank her for extending it up to about the 1st of September. I would advise all such institutions to take steps to at least initiate the process. She has been magnanimous enough to say that if you even initiate the process of filing your returns or regularizing your processes with the Office of the Registrar of Companies, she will be able to exempt you from the deletion. So I think that it is for our own good, for the good of Ghana, for creating investor confidence and making sure that the system is sanitized of people who set up companies to swindle people. So I think it's the best thing to do.
Mr. Frimpong.
All that I can add is the fact that it's long overdue.
Long overdue.
This thing should have been done long ago, and it should be annual, so that people will be on their toes. If you are going to register a company, you know that the following year, if you do not comply with the returns, your company is going to be not just blacklisted, but going to be scrapped off. Okay. So it should be a ritual, annual ritual.
The same apply to, say, as an entrepreneur. You're supposed to file your returns.
No, for companies, it is
for human beings. What do individuals do?
You are talking about sole proprietorship businesses.
All right.
Sole proprietorship businesses, there are certain regularizations that you need to do, but it is not strictly filing your financial report, because even as a sole proprietor, you have to pay your taxes.
Okay.
So there should be evidence that the business is running, you have paid your taxes, and you are complying with the object for which the certificate was issued.
Okay.
Same applies to partnership.
Right.
But it is very strict when it comes to companies, because of the nature and the volume of transactions they execute.
All right.
And the fact that in the case of a company, the moment it is registered, it becomes a distinct individual from those who registered it.
Okay.
Whereas sole proprietorship, it is only the business name you have registered.
Okay.
It is you.
All right.
So once you are paying your taxes regularly, it's like the business entity that has also done that.
Okay.
Which is different from the company.
All right. So 485 1.5 million cedis cola has hit accounts of public sector workers. 600,000 of that. Dr. Asai, are you smiling because your cola has landed?
No, I'm smiling. I'm smiling because I think government is responding to the needs of the people.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people they've been making noise that times are hard. Government should support them. So I am happy. And this month, when I was validating, I saw it that my staff have also.
So it's real.
It's real. I validated it and I saw the differences. I wasn't sure of what it was.
Okay.
So I quickly made few calls. I spoke with my internal auditor and I spoke with my director HR, and she confirmed that government has paid COLA to all institutions. At the point we thought we were not part, but when we saw it, we were very happy.
Is it a one-off or it's every month to come?
Well, for this month we have it, so we just hope that it continues. But we also have to do our part to save government some money, so government will be able to get some money to pay the COLA. And I must say that's how come the payroll fraud, payroll investigations, both names is working.
All right, I'm getting serious information that July and August has landed at once. So it's quite a hefty.
No, it is. And it should motivate public sector workers to give up their best. Because the problem and the challenge we've had in this country is we are not able to connect payment of salaries to productivity when it comes to the public sector. So,
Mr. Repon, you are just smiling. You're not a government worker.
No, well,
so how do you organize your
COLA? Clients are government
my
workers.
friends' clients.
Your clients are having so that's good news for you.
To lawyers. And then also, I believe that government would not have to wait for people to threaten to embark on strikes and riots before it does what it's supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, when they ask for 20%, you've paid them 15%. If it had immediately been agreed upon, I mean, their work would not have disrupted for some time. So I think what is your duty, you always do. And after that, you expect the other party also to put in his best.
SIM re-registration has dropped by 98% after the deadline extension. Can you believe it? So 235,000 registrations were recorded in July 31st, and then it fell to just under 6,000 by August 19. Shouldn't we just be able to just do this re-registration without the queues?
I think we are getting there because of the self-registration app, and you know it's delayed, and I'm not surprised it has dropped. It has dropped because people were waiting for the self-registration app to come, so they will do it, and it's now in. So I think we should just thank them, and we should get people to do the registration.
Have you registered?
I have.
The lawyer, have you?
I have.
So you are safe. Safe.
They did it specially for Ghana.
Especially for you.
Yes.
I'll just end in 2 minutes with just a couple of messages, and then we'll wrap it up for today. So this is from Ankuma Foster. Well, we're not talking about what you are talking about, so I'll just dive off. Good morning. I always like Mr. Anochi. He speaks the truth purely. I like the class of panels you have kept on GTV Mornings. It's hot and live. You're making it happening as you've made it happen too. Thank you so much. We love it. Somebody's about to blast me. Ask for you. You know everything. Let's see. Blast me. Guys, as for you, you know everything. Do pensioners also chew cola? Well, this one don't be Goro. The Goro, don't be Goro. This is the cola.
It's cost of living allowance.
Cost of living allowance. What about the pensioners? So do pensioners get cola?
I do not have that evidence to
yeah, but it's a good point though, because cost of living is high. It should be affecting them.
So maybe we'll have to discuss it with Senate.
Increase in pensions.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning, Calf. Please, is it that when a company is owing maybe 1,000 and now you say I don't have all the 1,000 but I can pay half of it more for you to give me clearance certificate to bid for a project and the GRA will not accept it?
He's talking about tax clearance certificate.
Yes. What's that? Briefly, in 30 seconds.
The tax clearance certificate is a certificate you need evidence that you have cleared all your tax liabilities, and it allows you to bid for government projects.
Okay. All right. We're done with our questions. Thank you so much. 055-556-1034. My guests have been, between them, they have like 4 or 5 professions. There are 2 lawyers here. There's 1 accountant. There's 1 historian. But they're only 2 people. So Dr. Eric Oduro Osai is a lawyer and accountant and Director General of the Internal Audit Agency. And Mr. Yao Anochi Frimpong, he's the nearest to Kwame Nkrumah that I know. You look like him a lot. And you're always talking about him. He's a historian and a lawyer. You're going to court today?
Yes, please.
Any interesting cases?
Not very interesting.
Is it land?
We're on vacation.
It's not land. It's just Something small, don't worry.
Divorce?
No.
You don't do divorce?
I do, but not today.
Are the divorce cases rising these days?
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are. Maybe we'll talk about that
later. Yeah, thank you so much. Doc,
thank you.
Enjoy your day.
Thanks.
Yes, that's our Tuesday panel right here on GTV Breakfast. Still to come, multiple award-winning stylist Hector Obing. He'll be having a chat with Valerie on the show. We will be diving right now into a conversation on UG at 75, University of Ghana at 75. My guest is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Nanaba Apia Amfo. Coming up right after this.